It is a great pleasure to be joined by the inventor of the Synchronizer and member of the PGA of America and a teacher for almost 40 years, Bill Crabtree. How are you, Bill?
Thank you, Brandel.
Nice to see you.
Doing fine.
All right,
Glad to be here.
let's get right into it. Tell us how you came to invent the Synchronizer.
Well, Brandel, after working with amateur golfers for many years, I found that they all have basically the same problem of being able to control the swing with the body core, the feet and legs, control the downswing. And I wanted to do something to try to help people understand really how the golf swing works.
But this came about because you fell in love with the game and you started studying and watching all the best players from the 50s, 60s, 70s, and 80s. And what did you learn from studying those players?
Well, I started playing golf way back in the 60s, and I didn't have an instructor, didn't have golf instruction available like I do today. So I said, well, I'll just study the great players of the time, like Palmer, Nicklaus, Trevino, Billy Casper, many great players of the time. And when I studied them, the one thing that I got from it was they're all different. You know,
Yeah.
I didn't really learn a lot, but
So it just confused you.
it confused me more than it taught me how to swing the golf club. I said, well, which one am I supposed to try to copy? You know, and the answer was none of them. So as the years go by, through the 70s, through the 80s, as I was trying to become a better player, and I kept studying the great players, I found out through a lot of study, I tried to find out what they were all doing in common.
And what was that?
Well, the thing I noticed that all great players do, actually there was three things. One thing, the downswing is controlled by the feet, legs, and body core muscles, not the hands and arms. Okay.
So it doesn't matter if they're upright like Jack Nicklaus or really flat like Ben Hogan,
No,
or anywhere in between.
No, you look at players today. You can look at Jim Furyk. You can look at Matt Kuchar.
Couldn't get more different.
I mean, they're just totally different.
But what do they have in common?
What they have in common, they control the downswing with the core muscles of the body.
Their feet, their legs, and their hips.
That's right. And all great players do this. It's the one thing they have in common. And I designed the Synchronizer to help the average players feel this in the swing, which they don't do. Most of them don't do it.
Well, before, when you were working with recreational golfers and you told them to use their lower body, what didn't they get? How come they couldn't do it?
Well, you know, I've had golfers tell me, well, I rotate my body, which they do. Most all golfers do. But it's a reaction to the swinging of the hands and arms, controlling the swing with the hands and arms. If you take a golf club and just swing your hands and arms, your lower body will rotate. It will.
Just to stay in balance.
Just to stay in balance. But it's a reaction to the hands and arms. And the difference is the great players, the action, the engine of the swing is the lower body, and actually the hands and arms moving through the shot are a reaction to that. It's the opposite of what most people do.
That is the difference, really, between the best players in the world and recreational golfers, is the separation they get with the lower body initiating the downswing, as opposed to the lower body as a reaction to the upper body starting the downswing, where it's really just an effort for them to keep from falling over, tipping over the upper body. So the better players start the lower body and get it out of the way, and they're pulling the upper body into place. Is that correct?
That's right. It's how the downswing is controlled by all the great players.
And now, how does the Synchronizer help the recreational player get a better understanding of how the lower body works?
Well, having the Synchronizer in place causes them to have a conscious effort of using their feet and legs more to start the downswing. See, the way we're made as people and the way we do things every day is we're pretty much upper body oriented in everything we do. We use our feet and legs to walk, and that's just about it. We do everything else from here up. Well, you know, when people get a golf club in their hand and somebody says, okay, you got You've got to swing it through. This is the way you hit the ball. Well, our bodies react to that with initiating the swing with our upper body. It's not it has to be a conscious effort to make your feet and legs work more.